sports, and politics. Get ready to rumble! You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Derek's gonna get him.
Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's me. It's Mr. FSP to you. Welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. It's going to be a great show. I'm telling you. We're going to talk about the AFC East. Now, you might say, what's there to talk about the AFC East? The Bills are going to everything. Okay, maybe, but I'm going to make it exciting because I do what I do. I'm not looking for anybody's adoration or anything like that to say, hey, I'm the best. I'm just going to tell you what I think and how I feel the AFC East is going to break down this year. Miami's doing a fire sale already. What's going on? We'll talk about it. Yes, the Bills are on paper the most dominant team in the AFC East. Don't sleep on the Patriots. And I'm going to contradict myself just a little bit. I think the Jets got a shot. Maybe not. We're going to talk about it, okay? You are welcome to come and join me and take part in this conversation. I have no qualms doing that. Just again, understand when you come on, it's going to be a conversation. I may say some things you don't like. You may see some things I don't like, but we're going to work together, right? We're going to go ahead and we're going to, let me see, we're going to collaborate. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Collaborate and discuss some things that you and I may or may not agree upon. Okay. So, with that being the case, if you want to jump in or if you have a comment, by all means, place it in the chat. If you want to, come on the air, send me a private message of your email address where I can send you the invite. I'm more than happy to do that. But don't get it twisted. I can do this all by myself. What my guy, or not my guy, but it is a guy with Patti LaBelle, Michael McDonald, Patti LaBelle. On my own, how could this leave me this way? Once again, I'm on my own. Michael McDonald's at the cookout, y'all. Michael McDonald is cooking at the cookout. I want to put together an all white chocolate barbecue list. Can y'all help me with that? What's an all white chocolate barbecue list? All white soul, hip hop, and R&B singers. You can't tell me Tina Marie ain't on that list. You can't tell me Michael McDonald ain't on that list. You cannot tell me Hall and Oates are not on that list. Now I get it. One isn't, white, but whatever. It's a lot of people. You can't. John B is on that list. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. All right. But with that being the case, right? The show isn't about my barbecue list. It's about the AFC East, who just might get barbecued. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a little music. Now I've been doing feeding the ducks underneath, right? But let's do a little rock because the AFC East is a little rocky. I like it. I like it. Get a little guitar. I like it. And it kind of fits, right? So let's break this bad boy down. AFC East. Do I want to start with the Bills? No. Because I told my buddy, Angel Rivera, my guy, big shout out to you, Angel Rivera, down in Florida. I was going to talk about his Jets, Jets. Now look, I might have been teasing y'all a little bit when I said the Jets are going to do something, but I'm looking at the schedule and I'm thinking Aaron Glenn is not going to let Justin Fields cook. He's not, in my opinion. Now, I may be wrong about this. FICO score just went up a little bit. That's what happens when you pay your bills, guys. I might be wrong. Aaron Glenn has a stellar defense, but his style of defense is different from what they do. We're going to see, right? But let's get to it. Now, if you have something you want to say, by all means, put it in the chat, raise your hand, whatever it is you want to do, let me know you got something to say. Or just, put it in there. But the Jets, my friends, let's start with them. Last year they were 5-12. They acquired Justin Fields on a 2-year contract, which basically is a 1-year, show me what you got. But the man's making $40 million. Okay? They added, excuse me, Jamin Sherwood, linebacker, 3 years, $45 million. But they lost Hassan Reddick, who never really played for him. He didn't play. Not a big loss. But the captain of that defense, C.J. Mosley, retired. Now, C.J. was in and out the lineup because he could never stay healthy, but he was playing very violently, and I guess it was just time to go. And there's some others not retained. Now, that offensive line is a piece of work. Ask Aaron Rodgers. I thought last year, with the offensive line being a little healthier, Breece Hall and Aaron Rodgers, along with Garrett Wilson, would be the perfect stack in fantasy football. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Turns out, Wilson became an afterthought until the end of towards the end of the season because Rodgers wanted to throw to his wide receiver BFF at the time here, and then went out and got his actual wide receiver BFF. But the offensive line stayed the same. So you know what happened? Breece Hall got injured, didn't produce. Aaron Rodgers didn't look good. Receiving core didn't look good. And yeah, the Jets offense stunk. So you put Justin Fields back there. Now they've added some small pieces. They're trying to do some things. But think about this, guys. Justin Fields is a mobile quarterback. I think Aaron Glenn's going to let him run the ball. I think it's going to be a lot of read option from the Jets, which you probably didn't think would happen because you're like, in order to read option, quarterback has to be able to throw decently. He throws a little better, and I said a little better, than old boy in Indy, Richardson. The problem I have with Justin Fields is he misses on the deep ball a lot. and he misses big plays. So when you have your number one receiver, Garrett Wilson, who I don't think is going to have a good year, not with Justin Fields. Just look what happened last year in Pittsburgh, right? Now I know Pickens ain't a beast, but he was the best receiver on that team, and he got practically ignored from Justin Fields. So Fields' success, along with the Jets, hinges on that offensive line. What are they going to do this year? Are they going to be rocky? Are they going to be turbulent? Or are they going to be solidified and just? We'll see. They don't have any major holdouts, so we don't have to worry about that. But Aaron Glenn has a new system. And the way he looks at offense is different than what Detroit would do. Right? His defense is built upon pressure. When he has to go to a non-pressuring defense and be more of a, okay, well, let's play zone and hope that the front four gets pressure, doesn't work that well. Now, he has an upgraded corner with Sauce, my cousin, Sauce Gardner. What's up? I don't know if we're really related. Might be, might not be. He has a better, yes, I said better, defensive line because he has 4 pieces on the defensive line that can cause havoc, not just one. But losing CJ Mosley was tough. So, we'll see. But the offense is going to be boring. He's going to utilize, just like in Detroit, 2 running backs. Last year's rookie and Breece Hall. They're going to stack them and run them a lot. And don't think that Justin Fields isn't going to run. Just don't expect Justin Fields to throw a lot of passing touchdowns. It's not. I don't think it's going to happen. But I think they're going to be in a slobber knocker type of situation in most games with that defense. And the way I believe Aaron Glenn is going to run that offense. You know what I mean? We'll see. But the Jets are facing some issues. They got contract extension issues. Garrett Wilson being the biggest one. But don't forget, Sauce Gardner's due too. Premier corner, about to be one of the elite receivers and has the great potential to be that. But elite corner is what they're going to stick with because you can't find many of them. You can develop a strong wide receiving group that replaces the one excellent talent receiver, especially if your quarterback is not going to throw him the ball that often. But contract talks are a must. And they haven't even got to the defense side where they got to do those players next year. But I look for some impact from both players. Garrett Wilson, not that much. But Sauce, I think Sauce is going to put it on you. I really think it's going to be some nice barbecue sauce. All right, with that being the case, let's go over the schedule. All right. I got my pen. I got my notebook. I got this music thumping. The Jets aren't always into something. All right, they start off with Pittsburgh. I already told you Pittsburgh is going to have a stellar season, and they're going to open up beating the Jets. So that's an L for the Jets. Doesn't get any better, even though that game's at MetLife. Doesn't matter to me. I think they're going to run the rock really hard and, Aaron Rodgers is gonna be like, well, this is what happens when you give me what I need. But then they host Buffalo, which is good that they get them early because both teams are fresh. One's not beat up. But again, Buffalo, they're that beast of the East, right? So it's still an L for the Jets. Now, Tampa Bay. Here's the thing about Tampa Bay. Oh no. You know what? I'm supposed to be doing the AFC South. But whatever. We're doing the East. I just remembered something. But anyway, week 3. Tampa Bay. Key note here about Tampa Bay. Tristan Wirth is supposed to be out 4 weeks or so. That's not good for Tampa Bay or Baker. Baker threw for 41 touchdowns last year, 13 interceptions. But Wirth, I keep saying Wirth, but it's Wirth, W-I-R-F, Wirth, is the linchpin to that offensive line in Tampa Bay. And with that front 4 of the Jets, in Tampa Bay now, okay? Sauce versus Mike Evans is going to be great. But then you got to worry about Godwin and the rest of the receiving core against that secondary. But if he can't throw the ball, it don't matter. I'm going to call it upset. Week 3, I know my boy Chris Etter, if he's watching, he's going to be mad at me. The Jets upset Tampa Bay week 3. I think those 4 weeks without Tristan Wirth is going to be detrimental to Tampa Bay season. Just my thought. Then it doesn't get better for Tampa. I mean, for the Jets. They got Miami and Dallas and Denver. Woo! 2 division games. Now here's the thing. It's in Miami. But Miami's going through some things. Like I said, they're doing wholesale. Chris just told me to be nice to the Pats. No, Christopher, I will not be nice to the Pats. But I haven't gotten there yet. Chris. We'll see. Anyway, Miami, they're doing wholesale changes, man. Jonnu Smith, people are saying Jonnu Smith going to Pittsburgh and getting Darren Waller is a downgrade. I don't think so. I like Jonnu Smith because Jonnu Smith can block and can catch. 88 receptions last year, right? Tua loved him. Remember, Tua still has Tyreek, who was out the lineup last year, though. And he has Waddle out the lineup. But the tight end got 88 receptions last year. I get it. Waller has been out for 2 seasons. Yes, I can't blame him for giving up on the Giants because the Giants gave up on themselves. They did. Business decision? Yes. People hate it? Yes. Is it a competitive sport? Yes. But you, as an athlete, you are an entity. And you have to look out for your best interest at all times. The organization is always looking out for their best interest. So for all the haters out there that say players are doing this, that, and the third, remember, when the organization is ready to cut them for anything, there's no emotion. So I believe Darren Waller coming to Miami is going to be an upgrade. Minkah Fitzpatrick coming back to Miami is okay, but you're losing a lot of other things. Miami bolstered their defensive line. They added more pieces through the draft. They got people returning, which is also good. But I'm worried about the offense. Devin Achane, okay. Can he stay healthy? Can Tua stay healthy? Tyreek and Waddle, tough game in Miami. I don't think Justin Fields has enough to beat Miami, but I think it's going to be a very, very, very close game. But I'm going to give the Jets an L versus Miami. Then the Jets host the Cowboys. Week 5. I don't like the Cowboys. A Cowboys fan, Cortland Sutton, or not Cortland Sutton, that's the daggone receiver in Denver. Cortland Hartford, a buddy of mine, he said Cowboys suck. And I said, it's just minicamp, my guy. Calm down. The Cowboys are going to put up numbers. The question is, can they stop anybody? Can they stop anybody? Here's where I think another upset's going to take place. Yes, I'm picking the Jets to beat the Cowboys. And you can hate me now or you hate me later. It doesn't matter. But here's the reason why. The Jets have a better defense. And as long as Justin Fields manages the game well, it'll be a close game. And I think the combination of Breece Hall and the other running back will run the table on this team. If you get the ball to Garrett Wilson, he needs at least 7 touches in this game, right? To loosen up that secondary. But that's where the Cowboys are weak at, the secondary. Defensive line is kind of, right? But to me, it comes down to the Jets defense versus the Cowboys offense, which has great upside. Worried about their run game a little bit, but that offensive line is somewhat new, right? They have a couple new pieces to protect that. That defense of the Cowboys, nope. Jets win. Moving on. And plus it's in MetLife. We'll see. Week 6, they go to Denver and they face Bo Nix and company. Listen, speaking of defense, Denver had a top 5 defense last year. Who saw that coming? Not me. Denver improved over the season. Bo Nix, that is. But if you cut off Cortland Sutton, the other cast of characters have got to step up. Bottom line. Now, we know Sean Payton likes to rotate running backs and mix them in and stuff like that, but he needs to find that power back, right? And a strong number 2 receiver. Now, Bo Nix had one from college, from Oregon. They should have a good connection and chemistry. But again, the Jets defense is nothing to play with. I'm just saying, right? But it's in Mile High. I think Denver's defense is going to frustrate Justin Fields just enough, and Denver wins. So that's the L for the Jets. Week 7 at the Panthers. The Panthers come to MetLife. Look, don't get me wrong. I think, Carolina is a rising team. I just think Bryce Young, who now has the confidence to be an NFL quarterback and some of the pieces, is going to do a lot better. And that defense did a lot better. This is going to be a quality game. Defense versus defense. Okay offense versus okay offense. But the Jets, in my opinion, have better skilled position players. Comes down to quarterback play. Is, Bryce Young really worth the number 1 pick that they traded up to get him for with the weapons he has? Justin Fields. Same question, but now on a different team. I think Justin Fields' energy and QB acumen has made him a little better than Bryce Young. That's not saying much because this is Bryce Young's second year in the league. That's not saying much about Justin Fields, which is what, his fourth or fifth year? But the Jets get the W. So far, so good. They won 5 games last year in all. Right now, I haven't won in 3, and it's only week 7. Going to week 8. Look, win over Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati defense is terrible. Terrible. So Justin Fields and company should do well versus them. On the flip side, that offense is so dangerous. But who's the let out, receiver or tight end? Can Chris Brown, tote that rock? I don't think he can. Matter of fact, because I let me go back and see what I had Cincinnati. I had Cincinnati at 7-10, and what is this, week 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I had Cincinnati winning this game. I might have to amend that. But I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and give the Jets the loss. Going to week 9, absolutely great place to have your bye, unless it's a little closer to week 12, week 13, because it's the midpoint of the season. Rest some folks. Come back rejuvenated because you're playing the Browns in week 10, right? Recoup, address whatever issues you got to address, and come back focused because the second half of the season isn't too bad, right? You've already played 2 of the 3 division rivals, and you get the Patriots twice in the second half of your season. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I got to ask Cardi B because that BBL may or may not smell like trash, but it's a nice one. I'm just going to put it out there. Anyway, week 10 versus the Cleveland Browns. If you followed me before when I talked about the AFC North, I said by this time, Joe Flacco is not the quarterback. It's either, in my opinion, going to be Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. If the Browns do what I consider something stupid and keep Shedeur on the practice squad or cut him, Dylan, who I love because he was an OU guy before he transferred to Oregon, I don't think he's equipped to handle the defense or the adversity because he really didn't see it that much at Oregon. Kenny Pickett, I didn't worry about Kenny Pickett. I don't think Kenny Pickett is going to make this team. If he does, it says a lot about Cleveland, right? Cleveland has to find their running identity. Nick Chubb is gone, right? They've got 2 effective wide receivers. Deontay Johnson, why you just give him the ball? The dude catches the ball, and he makes plays. Jerry Jeudy, hot and cold. Not worried about him too much. Njoku, again, if it's the rookies or Pickett, that Jets defense eats them alive. I got the Jets winning this game. That's 4 wins. Week 10. They're almost at 500. Week 11. Hey, Chris, are you watching? Are you watching, Chris? Reason why I say that is because it's your Patriots and it's at Foxborough, right? This is a dangerous run that they got to go on. It's in the cold. Mike Vrabel is a defensive-minded coach. I don't care what offensive weapons he has. I love Stephon Diggs. Drake May has a gun and can develop, but he needs a little bit more time. The run game, they're going to platoon the running backs. Bottom line, they're going to platoon the running backs. If you remember, when Rex Ryan was the head coach of the Jets, they went to Foxborough, and he had a quarterback that really couldn't throw the ball, and the weather was kind of bad. They ran the ball 44 times, threw the ball like 3 times. This is November 13th. Gillette Stadium. I think it's going to be a heavy run game here. I love Gonzalez. I wish Washington would have got him instead of Forbes. Whatever. We're going to do what we do now. But they got another dog on the other side of them that's a young pup who can be a dog. Physicality is something that Garrett Wilson has to deal with as he matures in the NFL. He's not really big. He's got route running and he's got speed and he's got hands, but physicality is something he's got to deal with. I'm going to say the Patriots and the Jets are going to split. So, with that being the case, since it's at the Patriots, the Jets get an L. Okay? Then they go to Baltimore. I'm not going to get into it. But defense versus defense, I like that. I like that. Right? Defense versus defense in Baltimore. But come on. Lamar, King Henry. Now that's going to be a test for that defense. It's another L. Then they go to Atlanta. Oh, Atlanta comes in week 13. Now, Michael Penix, I got to see him outdoors in very inclement weather, right? Atlanta came to D.C. It was cold, but it wasn't nasty New York weather cold, right? But I love everything about the Falcons this year, as I did last year. I love it. They upgraded their defense, truly. Why they're not a heavy favorite to win the South or at least make a strong run in the playoffs, I don't know. But I think Atlanta is leaps and bounds ahead of the Jets. So again, they get a loss. Miami's on the docket. They're going to split with Miami. Because by week 14, I hate to say this, but I think based upon what Miami's front office has been doing, my guy, Mike McDonald, he's going to be gone if they have a terrible season this year. We're going to get to the record in a minute, but I think if they don't make the playoffs and win a game in the playoffs, not just make it, but win a game in the playoffs and win at least 2 games. I was about to say 1. 2 games in December. And this is a December game. It's the first game in December. And I'm giving them an L. So the Jets take this game. Right? Ooh. Oh, no. Oh, no. I just had the Jets sweep Miami. I just picked the 2025 New York Jets to sweep the 2025 Miami Dolphins this year. I think because Miami is in such disarray right now, that is very possible. Very possible. Just think about it. Miami is dismantling. The Jets are assembling, and they have a good set of tools. It depends on the play of Justin Fields. Miami sweeps or gets swept by the Jets. Oh my God. I didn't realize that. All right. Then they got Jacksonville. Look, I love me some Travis Hunter. I do not like Sunshine. I do not. I have the weapons around him though, right? Can Travis Etienne regain what he had before, or is Tank going to take that job and make Etienne the third down back? You know, does Brian Robinson Jr. and Travis Hunter become the next elite wide receiver combination? Does the tight end play jump up? Even though Evan Ingram was a good fit for Sunshine, right? Trevor Lawrence. But did they get an upgrade? Offensive line questions. Offensive line questions. And as bro, don't say Duval. No. It's Duval. Come on, man. Come on, man. You done made them soft already. The Jets beat the Jaguars, man. The Jets beat the Jaguars. At New Orleans, look, New Orleans is vying for the #1 pick next year. This quarterback shenanigans they did, I hope they lose every game. We're going to talk about it when I get to the NFC South, which is supposed to be tomorrow, but I got to move it. The Jets are going to beat New Orleans at New Orleans with Justin Fields. Unless, because this is week 16, unless New Orleans gets a quarterback to go with all those wonderful weapons they had. Look, Kellen Moore, he likes to throw the ball. Only reason why he ran the ball in freaking Philly is because he had my guy Saquon. And Nick Sirianni's like, run the ball. Run the ball. Now he's calling the plays. We know he loves to throw it. When he was in Dallas and he had all the autonomy to call plays, pass, pass, pass. Didn't care about the run game. Right? But who's your trigger puller in New Orleans? Will somebody be traded? Will somebody be cut? Because surely, I like Spencer Rattler, ain't the guy. The 27-year-old rookie from Louisville, he's a decent game manager in college. He's not going to be a decent game manager or a decent quarterback in the NFL. I'm sorry. He's not. Period. Point blank. And if the rumors are true, what Kellen Moore rumored to say about Shador and Dion and all that, I hope there's some terrible juju for New Orleans. That New Orleans reporter admitted he lied about the interactions with Shador and the different coaches at the combine. So there's got to be a lot of bad karma coming to New Orleans Saints. And Justin Fields is going to bring it. W to the Jets with emotion. All right, let's go to week 17. I said that the Jets would split with the Patriots, right? So now the Jets get that win. Plain and simple. Last game of the season, Buffalo. I don't care if Buffalo's resting everybody. I don't care. Here's what I'm thinking. Week 18. If there's no real contract agreement extensions for Wilson and Sauce on the table, they either are injured or they're not going to play. That's your offense and your defense. Defense has a little bit more weapons, but that's your offense and defense. And it doesn't matter if Buffalo plays their second strings. Not to me. Buffalo wins this game. So that's an L. Now, let's put it in perspective. I have the Jets already surpassing what they did last year. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins. I've got the Jets at 8-9. I'm going to tell you, I think the AFC is not that strong this year. 8-9 just might put them in the running for a playoff spot, the final playoff spot. You never know. But 8-9 is 3 games better than what they were last year. And that is, my friends, a good thing. All right, Jets fans, y'all can hate me, y'all can love me, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to tell you right now, the Jets are better than I thought. Way better than I thought. At least on paper. And I'm predicting it. Let's move on. Chris, my guy. Since you brought it up, let's talk about your New England Patriots. Right? I got some information here I wanted to share. And look, I love the fact that you guys got Harold Landry from Tennessee. I love it. Who drafted him? Vrabel. Duh. Harold Landry is a menace to society. And you put him in that same style defense, but with better players. 3 years, $43.5 million. Carlton Davis, you add a cornerback, who I like to go opposite of my guy, Gonzalez, 3 years, $54 million. Milton Williams, a defensive tackle, 4 years, $104 million. Robert Spillane. I love Spillane. If you don't know who Robert Spillane is, he used to play for the Raiders. He was their lone legit linebacker everywhere. Last year had some injury problems because he was making all the daggone tackles. I love him, especially in a Vrabel defense. Woo! Jack Gibbons, Joshua Dobbs, decent backup, and the big one, Stephon Diggs. 3 years, $63.5 million. Bring Cardi B. Shoot, Travis Kelce be having freaking Taylor Swift. Have Cardi B up in Gillette. We already know Robert Kraft hangs out with Baby. Have Cardi B up in there. Watch what happens. Stephon gonna be woo. Now this depends on if Mike Vrabel lets Drake May throw the ball, right? But they also lost Juwan Bentley. But Mike Vrabel's clearing house. He's saying, look, I used to be on this team and we won Super Bowls. The last remaining person to have a Super Bowl on the Patriots has been let go. This is all new slate. Craziness, but what's needed. They got a couple holdouts, mini camps. Well, no, it's not holdouts. I'm sorry. Mini camps smoothly held. Vrabel monitoring league-wide holdout trends because they're gonna try to improve. Kraft ain't nobody to sit on the sideline and be like, "Nah, I'm not gonna improve my team." He's gonna do what he has to do, right? They're rebuilding by adding high-profile, high-impact players. Now, people are going to say Stephon Diggs is a distraction. Maybe. But the dude is productive, and he's a sure-handed number one receiver. Something the Patriots have not had, right? Even Brady didn't have a number one, but he had a lot of great 2As that played like ones, right? I'm going to tell you my heart of hearts. I think the Patriots can do something this year and possibly make the playoffs. Kraft on Vrabel's vision and early praise, social media celebration, turn around, watch is like the hashtag, right? What I'm going to tell you is watch out for what this team does. Just watch. All I can tell you is the Patriots are no freaking joke. All right? So let's get to their schedule. Patriots are on deck. You're now on the clock. Let's get to it. If they can give me all these daggone. Look, this is why I said the Patriots have a great shot of turning everything around. their schedule is very favorable in the beginning of the season. You start out strong, you could probably fizzle out a little bit at the end. As long as you start out really strong, it is what it is. They start out with Vegas coming to them. Now, I love Pete Carroll. I love the mindset he brings. I love the talent that he develops, the competitiveness in his teams. Geno, not so much. A guy, Jerry Taylor, would say he loves him some Geno, blah, 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 blah. Nah, no. There's a reason why Geno was traded and let go. Pete wanted him, one. Two, it's time to let him go from Seattle. He resurrected his career, yes, but not to the point where he's going to be the guy. He's a placeholder for Vegas. Trust me when I tell you that. But Ashton Gentry and Brock Bowers are the future. That offensive line needs a lot of help. Pete loves to run the ball. This defense is going to get after Geno. Plain and simple. The defense of Vegas has not... Well, I mean, we don't know what it looks like because, Pete is rebuilding it. They lost Spillane to their rival, the Patriots, right? Leading tackler. I gotta give the Patriots a W coming out the gate. Then they go to Miami. This is Stephon versus Tyreek to me. Weather's good. Drake May can run the ball. They're going to double pound the ball. Both teams are. I think the Patriots are going to be more committed than the Dolphins, even though the Dolphins are a run-heavy team. We'll see what they do. I just don't think they have enough weapons. Patriots. Woo! Get another W. 2 in a row, right? Well, then week 3, they got Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, New England. You're not quite there yet. You get an L. But then, as I said, start off strong. Week 4, you have the Panthers. I legit believe that the Patriots' current state are better than current state Carolina. The Patriots are going to beat Carolina, and I don't believe it's going to be close. It's in freaking Gillette Stadium, New England. So when you see this, don't be surprised when New England puts up, I think they're going to put up like 35, 40 points. Both teams have good defenses. I just think Bryce, he hasn't seen a Vrabel defense. And this retooled Patriots defense, where's he going to throw the ball? I think Gonzalez is a shutdown physical cornerback. I've seen him live. He was manhandling Marvin Harrison Jr. Get it, Marvin Harrison Jr. was a rookie, but the refs weren't calling anything. That's another thing. But I love the way Gonzalez plays. And the additions they got, Harold Landry's he's going to hit Bryce Young a lot. Patriots win again. Now, they go to Buffalo. Okay? Normally, this is a very, very tough game, and it always is going to be. Division game. Buffalo, in my opinion, is just right now, I believe, especially early on in the season, they're more of a cohesive unit. And regardless if it's Cook at running back or whoever, I think they're going to be in a position to dominate this division. And I got to give this game to the Bills. So, Patriots take an L. Starting off strong, New Orleans. I'm telling you, I might have New Orleans go like 1-16. Not out of hate, but because I think they're that bad, especially at the quarterback position. Pats win. Woo! Patriots are only 2 losses so far. Then, again, what did I tell you? Start out your season strong, because when you fizzle at the end, it's okay. They got Mike Vrabel's old team, Tennessee. Do you not think Mike Vrabel's going to have a little extra juice coaching that game? They did not part on nice terms. Not at all. And I don't like Cam Ward. Yes, I said it. At me. Come at me, TikTok. Cam Ward is a bum and a bust in the making. I do not like the fact that he thinks he is the guy already. Y'all want to talk about Shador being humble? This dude ain't humble. I don't care what he tells you in the media. You're hearing it in the press conferences from his own coach. That's going to be a detriment, especially going against Mike Vrabel, who has an axe to grind with Tennessee and has this solid defense. Patriots going to crush him. I would venture to say Cam Ward's probably going to throw 2 or 3 interceptions week 7. I think it's going to be that bad. I really do. Patriots win again. Against Cleveland, week 8. What did I tell you guys? By this time, even if Joe Flacco were the quarterback, and put it that way, I don't think he's going to be, but even if Joe Flacco was the quarterback of Cleveland in week 8, I still believe that the Patriots defense, I ain't talking about their offense. I ain't talking about the offense yet, is better than the Cleveland offense. Hands down. With that being the case, I mean, I can't do nothing but tell you I think the Patriots are going to win this game too. You're probably like, this dude is crazy. Call me crazy, call me what you want. But as I said before I started talking about the Patriots, I think they're really going to make the playoffs or have a really strong shot at making the playoffs. They have a schedule that sets them up to do so. All they have to do is win maybe 3 of their second half games, in my opinion. But we're getting there. We're getting there. But they beat Cleveland in week 8. That means to me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are 6-2. 6-2 going into week 9 against the Falcons. Nuts, I tell you. Again, to me, it's in Gillette Stadium. Weather isn't going to be too bad just yet. It might be a little nippy, but Penix, Drake London, Bijan, I think Pitts is going to have a stellar year because Penix likes throwing it to him, right? He gives them opportunities. I don't care who the other receivers are on the opposite side, but they're going to show up too, right? And that defense is going to get after that offense of the Patriots. Now, I do believe the Patriots defense is better by the weapons they have. Also think Stephon Diggs will probably have his best game of the season in week 9. Just because I like Atlanta's secondary, but I think Diggs is better than their best cornerback, who for a short time was the highest paid cornerback, right? But welcome to Atlanta, welcome to Gillette Stadium. And, Atlanta wins. So that means the Patriots take an L. Tampa, week 10, Tristan Wirth is back. It's in Tampa Bay. Key point here. Now, later in the season, not as humid, but it is raining. Nothing different than what, New England's used to, except the humidity. There's still humidity in early November in Florida. Tropical storms, hurricanes, all that other good stuff, right? This has to be a run game for them. It's going to have to be. Because I think Baker and company can throw on them. But the big matchup I want to watch, Mike Evans versus Gonzalez. I think that's going to be one hell of a matchup. Height, strength, about the same. Well, no, because Gonzalez is faster, and he's a very physical corner. This might be a game with Godwin's going to have to be the guy, and Mike Evans gets maybe 3 or 4 receptions. But Baker versus May, that's going to be a good matchup. Very good matchup. So, you know, and Diggs versus that secondary. They play a lot of man. They play a lot of man in Tampa. But I got to give it to Tampa Bay because it's in Tampa 1. And I think by week 10, Tristan Wirfs is already back. That O-line is solidified a little more. So the run game is going to be there. And the pass protection is going to be good. So I'm going to give it to Tampa Bay. Patriots. Let me say that again. The Patriots take back-to-back L's. First time this season. All right. Then they got the Jets. Benny and the Jets. I said the Jets take a L. So the Patriots get a W. Now, I'm going to tell you what I did with Cincinnati here. Week 12. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I got the Patriots beating the Bengals week 12. I don't like the Bengals this year. Offense is great. Defense, I really think the Patriots are a way better team already with new players than the Bengals. Giants, week 13. Remember what I told you. Schedule is everything. They haven't had a bye yet. But you consider playing the Giants week 13 a bye, whether it's Russell, Jameis, or Dart. I don't care. It's in Gillette. Conditions are similar to what's going to be in Met, except on grass. I don't care what quarterback it is. I think the Patriots, all around, are better than the Giants. Patriots, another W. Now, I got to remind you, the Jets, they've only played 1, 2, 3. They've only played 3 division games, and you're going into week 14, right? This is why I said they need to come out strong early, because they're going to finish kind of flat. By week 14, perfect for the teams. If you have the Patriots defense in fantasy, not so perfect. I think the defense, especially with this schedule, is going to flourish. But week 14 is your playoffs. So make sure you get a nice compliment to the Patriots defense going into your playoffs week 14. Because you're not going to have them. And you're not going to have Diggs. Right? So I'd say probably, just me, week 12-ish, just pick somebody up off waivers that's not going to give you negative points in week 14. Right? Just my opinion. Week 15. As I said, they need to start strong because week 15, 16, 17, 18, look, they're going to lose to Buffalo. They're going to lose to Baltimore, especially at Baltimore. I think they'll split with the Jets. I think I said that. So I had the Jets. What did I have the Jets doing? Patriots. Okay. So they lose to the Jets because they beat the Jets before. I mean, the Jets beat them before, so they beat the Jets. I'm sorry. They beat the Jets. But I think they're going to lose to Miami. I think they lose to Miami. Close out the season. Right? Because Miami's, they're fighting. They're fighting. But check this out. This is why I said the Patriots have a legit shot at making the playoffs. A legit shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 and 7. 10 and 7. I have the Patriots at. Hellified difference from last year. Last year they were 4 and 13. Last in their division. The second. I haven't done Miami yet, but I'm about to. But yes, I got them second in the division because I don't have that much faith in Miami. I'm sorry, Mike McDonald. I'm sorry, Tyreek. Sorry, Waller. I just don't. Jets, 10 and 7. I mean, not Jets. Patriots, 10 and 7. Chris, I hope you enjoyed that. I have more confidence in your Patriots than you do. But let's get to these fish. Daniel Carr. If you are watching, my guy, Dan Carr, I love you. Come on and let's talk about your Miami Dolphins. Unless you're busy. Check this out, guys. I already told you, I'm not feeling the Dolphins this year. The fish are floundering. Let's go over some key things about this, right? Last year they were 8-9. You know what? Let me verify something. They were 8-9, I believe, yes. Because this year, they need some help. They need some help. Look, it does not look good for Miami. I'm just telling you. From my point of view, if you're a Dolphins fan, be prepared to be upset and disappointed this year. There are rumblings about Mike McDonald losing his job already. As the season goes on, as I said, by week 10, they might try to replace him. Great offensive mind. Great team or player coach. But the weapons they're giving him now, it's a show and prove. So the Dolphins, 8-9 last year. This year, they trade away Ramsey. They get Minka Fitzpatrick. They trade away Jonnu Smith in the same deal. Bring Darren Waller out of retirement, who I said quit on the Giants, and I don't blame him. He's a business. He's an entity. He has to look out for himself. Money. His body and his ability are his only ticket. And not his only ticket, but his business. And if the team is terrible and he's not getting the touches, the value of that corporation goes down. He got traded for a 7th round pick. Not because he sucks, but because they wanted to get rid of him. They did. Right? But Miami's getting a guy that can catch those 88 balls that Tua threw to Jonnu Smith last year. They added James Daniel and Larry Borum, offensive line, which they desperately need to help Tua. I'm afraid Tua's going to have another crippling concussion, and I'm afraid for him. He better wear that halo. I don't care how big it makes him look. His big head, it makes him look. I don't care. Here's the problem. Who do they bring in to back up Tua if he does get hurt? Zach Wilson? No. Like I said, Miami is not doing anything to help Mike McDonald. Terrell Dotson at linebacker. Wide receiver Nick Westbrook. I like Westbrook because when he was in Tennessee, he was that dog, even though Calvin Ridley was the number one. Now, that also goes to tell me that Levitz didn't look for Ridley a lot or give him a lot of opportunities in double coverage, because they were double covering him for sure. Westbrook was one-on-one. He was getting the bombs, he was getting all this stuff. I like the kid. I like him. So he's the third guy with Tyreek, Waddle, and him. I like that. Offensively, I like Miami. It's the defense that worries me, right? Losing, as I said, Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, Jason Sanders was released, their kicker. And look, to me, I know a chain is in the top 10 fantasy of a lot of people. Not top 10 running backs, but top 10 fantasy for a lot of people. He's not for me. Maybe second rounder, because he's going to get injured. Raheem Mostert was that power back with speed. He's gone now. Can they fill that void? That's my version of a Dolphin. Flipper. I don't know. But by adding Fitzpatrick back into the mix, former Dolphin, who they traded to Pittsburgh and then they brought him back a couple years later, does that help? I don't know. It's an unsettled locker room because Asante Samuel Jr. might not be back there because his daddy this week said, nah, my son ain't going back. Only way that he's coming back is if they put the franchise tag on him. That's pretty much what he's saying. Which could happen because dude is a beast, but is he worth that tag? But that locker room is fractured, and it's not Mike McDonald. It's upper management. They have unsigned free agents right now: Kadar, Kahu, Schwartz, and Bell. Who cares? Just gonna be honest. Who cares? I don't. I like Miami because I like fantasy wise, I like Tua, Tariq, Waddle, Waller, a chain. I like their big five. I do. I don't like that offensive line. They brought in two players. I don't like the defense. So fantasy wise, those big five, they're going to get a lot of opportunities. A lot. Because they're going to have to throw a lot instead of running the ball. Say what you want to say. But that's the way I feel about it. Let's go over the schedule. All right, fish people. My handy dandy notebook. Steve. Blues, 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 blues. This is black clues, black clues. I am black. Here's my clues. All right, let's go for Miami. Those Dolphins, right? They start off good. And again, this is a matter of scheduling. They got the Colts. Daniel Jones needs to win that starting job from Richardson. And if Daniel Jones wins that job from Richardson, Richardson's career in the NFL is pretty much over as a quarterback. My opinion. Third year, 2 years in a row, can't stay healthy. Second year, he can't pass in the NFL. He can't. And with the passing of Jim Irsay, I believe his daughters are not going to be as kind in the business realm as their dad. Y'all think them women going to be like soft? Nope. Nope. They might know the players and they might like some of the players, but they're going to be shrewd. Watch what I tell you. Jonathan Taylor, Pittman and all them won't matter. I think the Dolphins are better than the Colts. The Dolphins get the W. Then they have the Patriots week 2. I already told you. I have the Patriots beating them, right? So that's an L. Buffalo, week 3, L. Week 4, the Jets. Where are my Jets? Week 4, they beat the Jets. But the first month, 3 of their 4 games are division opponents. Good and bad. Good because you get them early. Everything's not as smooth as it should be. Bad because they're divisional games. And they really, really count more so than going against the daggone Panthers, right? Which they have in week 5 at Carolina. But again, the Panthers are a very good team on the rise. They're not there yet. I think they have a better record than they did last year, but we'll talk about them when I get to them next week, right? So I've got the Dolphins beating the Panthers. Then the Chargers come to Miami. Here's the thing. Here's where that defense is really going to come into play. I know Najee Harris had the firework issue happen, and there's conflicting reports about whether he's going to play the whole season or if he's going to sit out the season. From what I heard, it was superficial, and he's supposed to be good to go for the season. Wear a visor or something so nothing really messes with his eyes. But it's not like, you know, old boy in Florida on the Bucs who blew his fingers off, right? And his eyes aren't that messed up. Maybe some scratches or whatever. We'll see. The offensive line, top 3. Yes, I said it, top 3. I've got Philly. I have Detroit, even though their center retired. That's a big, big blow. And then I got the Chargers offensive line. They're going to run the rock hard on that Miami defense. So Miami takes an L, right? Cleveland, week 7. This is not going to be, and it's in Cleveland. It's not going to be as easy of a game as people think, right? Let me go back and see if I had Cleveland beating the Dolphins in week 7. Because if I didn't, I might change it. Because I think Cleveland's going to actually win this game based upon, what do I have here? 11-6. That's the Ravens, Cincinnati, the Browns. Nope, week 7, I have Cleveland losing. So I got to give Miami the W. At Atlanta, week 8. Miami doesn't have enough weaponry on defense to stop that offense. Might be a shootout game. Might be. But they lose to Atlanta. They lose to Baltimore. They lose to Buffalo. Buffalo sweeps them. It's week 10. Now, remember what I said earlier about how McDonald's on the hot seat, kind of, sort of, and by week 10 he might be like up out of there like a gangster party. Week 10, I have them 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 6. It's not a good sign. Not a good sign. Week 11 does not get any better as Washington comes down, or not comes down, they travel to Spain to play Washington. You know I ain't gonna. Come on. You know my Commanders, they beaten this bum defense in Miami. Question is, will Washington's defense stand up to that running attack of Miami? They have to. I think Washington has a better set of weapons on offense. Don't get me wrong, Waddle, Tyreek, Waller, a chain. I like it. But I like better McLaurin, Debo, Ertz, Eckler, Robinson. Oh, and by the way, Jaden Daniels, who can run. That's not even including McCaffrey or whoever the number 3 receiver is going to be. Okay? So that's an L, right? By week 12. So here's where we get to the funny business of, do they fire Mike McDonald if they haven't done so already? Because it's a bye week. Perfect time to change. You're coming back from overseas, right? So you get that extra week or so to, set things up for your team, because you're coming in the home stretch. And it's not that difficult of a home stretch, honestly. But the expectation of Miami is to make the playoffs, which they're not going to do, and win a playoff game, which they're not. I think you see a change by week 12 for bye week, unfortunately. And Mike McDonald's going to land somewhere as an analyst, great on TV, and then get picked up as a offensive coordinator, or be picked up as a head coach as the cycle in the NFL continues, because somebody's going to get fired. Somebody's going to get fired, and he's going to replace him. But week 13, New Orleans. I told you how I feel about New Orleans, right? So that's a W for the Dolphins. At the Jets. Now, I got to go back. The Jets beat them. So that's an L. Pittsburgh, L. Come on now. But you know what? Let me see. Before I just do that, because I had Pittsburgh, 13-4, and week 15. Yeah, they beat Miami. But guess who's in town? The Bengals. So they get the W. Week 17, Tampa. Week 18 is the Patriots. Look, I think Tampa's going to be fighting for a wild card spot week 17. I think they're a better overall team. They have some of the similar issues as Miami, but I think playing in the AFC South gives them a huge advantage. The NFC South gives them a huge advantage over the Dolphins playing in the AFC East and in the AFC in general. So week 17 is a loss to Tampa, and I give them a win to close out the season versus the Patriots. As I said, I believe Mike McDonald is fired between weeks 10 and 12 because the bye week is there. So it doesn't really matter to me what happens next, because they're going to have a high draft pick. They're already cleaning house. They already are. That's not good. And I only have them winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 and 10. The Miami Dolphins. 7 and 10. Sorry, Mike McDonald. You're my guy and all, but I think you're going to be gone. All right. Last team of the AFC East. Let's circle the wagons. Let's get on that Bills Mafia. To Ron Pilot, who is a big member of, the Bills Mafia. And I was on that wagon for a hot second. I still am, just not that huge of a supporter. Buffalo is going to do it again. But I'm going to tell you, Buffalo's going to actually do it again and not advance far in the playoffs. They're going to win this division, but it's going to be a false sense of security because of the division. I believe I only have them split one time, and that was with the Patriots. That means I got them sweeping Miami, and sweeping the Jets. Hold up. The Jets versus the Bills is a L. Yeah. The Bills sweeping. So, let's go to Buffalo's schedule. And let's get it crack-a-lacking. Regular season Buffalo Bills. It's not a difficult schedule because it's mixed, right? It's a schedule you would say, they should dominate. They should do well. Are they going to win the division decisively? Yeah, I think they're going to win it by like maybe 2-3 games. And remember, I have the Patriots at 10-7. So let's see what I got going on with Buffalo. Let's talk about it. The Bills. 13-4 last year, division champions. Adding Joey Bosa over Von Miller, I like it, but I don't like it. Because Bosa is going to be a situational rusher. Does he always get to the pass rusher? Does he always get to the passer? Not really, without somebody on the other side. But in this division, I can see it happening. They had defensive end Michael Hoyt, 3 years, $20 million, but he's got to be suspended for the first 6 games. Damar Hamlin got his 1-year extension. They re-signed Khalil Shakir, who is their number 2, more like their number 1. But Keon Coleman's supposed to be the number 1. But Shakir should be the number 1. I don't even count Amari Cooper. I don't. That was a mid-season trade that definitely did not pan out. Definitely. Greg Rousseau, nice defensive lineman addition. Terrell Bernard, Shaq Thompson, I like that pickup as well. Dane Jackson, those are the notable ones, right? They lost Von Miller. Micah Hyde retired, which is huge for that secondary. Huge, right? They lost punter Sam Martin. Now look, had they stuck with that punter that got accused of what he got accused of and just rode it out, that kid would be their punter for the next 5 to 6 years because it was proven that it was a lie and he didn't do what they accused him of, or the young lady accused him of. Career messed up. They cut him. It's gone. Matt Collins. I like Matt Collins. Walking around barefoot everywhere, feeling the energy of the earth. That's a big loss. Even though he didn't have a dramatic impact, he had an impact. Cornerback Carr Elam, who they drafted but got beat out by like a 5th or 6th rounder. They traded him away. Cutting their losses, right? Understood. But the revamped pass rush with Bosa and Rousseau should make an impact as long as the defensive tackle does their job. I'm telling you. Matt Milano, nice kid, nice guy, impactful, starting to get injury prone, up there in age. He needs them to perform so he can stay healthy and not be making all the tackles and stuff like that, right? Now, there's a bunch of opportunity here. There's a rumor, and I hope it's not true. Crossing my fingers, and I'm praying to God, I hope it's not true, that Washington is shopping Terry McLaurin, and Buffalo happens to be one of the landing sites. For who? For who? Unless you're getting a first-round pick, I'll take Keon Coleman. I want 2 first-round picks, Keon Coleman. Then I'll consider it. That's me. I'm not Washington's, GM room. I hope to goodness this isn't true. But if Buffalo's able to get Terry McLaurin, that gives Josh Allen one of the best. And I admit that he's like Art Monk to me. Silent, consistent, sure-handed, underappreciated. He's easily a $35 million receiver. Easily. I don't know why we can't just tear up the contract and just give him the money he deserves. However, if Josh Allen gets his hands on Terry McLaurin, first of all, Terry's going to have to change his number because Josh is 17. Oh my goodness. I really might have to jump on that Bills Mafia. I'm still going to be a Commanders fan. But I'm a Terry McLaurin fan for real. I really am. I hope it's not. I hope it's not true. I hope it's not true. Please, don't let the rumor of Terry McLaurin going to the Buffalo Bills be true. I'll be heartbroken. Buffalo would get one of the best receivers in the NFL, and that would put them squarely in the path for an AFC Championship game. Squarely, in my opinion. You add him with a big-armed, strong quarterback. You saw what he did with Jalen Daniels. Jalen Daniels is a very athletic, throwing quarterback. Not as big as Josh Allen, but they played the same style. And Josh is going to throw that thing up there too. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I hope it's not true. I hope it's not true. We'll talk about it though. All right. Let's get to the schedule. Surprised I ain't got no Bills fans on here calling me out saying, yeah. Listen, man, I'm telling you what I know. If that happens, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy. All right, Buffalo. Week 1. It does not start off well. It does not. Why? Because you got to face the Ravens. And I got the Ravens at 13-4. Or do I? No. I got the Ravens at 11-6. And I'm sorry to tell you, but you start the season off with an L versus Lamar and company. Week 2, you beat the Jets. Week 3, you beat the Dolphins. Week 4, bum-ass New Orleans Saints. You beat them. So the first month, first month of the season, you're 3-1, right? Week 5 against the Patriots, you beat them. Now you're 4-1. At Atlanta, Monday night game. This is going to be a game I really want to watch. The reason why I said that is because if By this time, week 6, that defense should be gelling of the Bills, right? Same thing should be said about the Atlanta Falcons. Can they stop Josh Allen? That's it. I mean, that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so, right? But on the flip side, can they stop Michael Penix, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Pitts, and whoever the other receiver is going to be? Look, I am high on Atlanta. I really am. And whether it's Penix or it's Kurt, because I don't know if Kurt's going to get traded. I know he's not going to New Orleans in an interdivision trade unless they give up the world, which isn't going to happen because they don't have that much draft capital and they don't have the money. So Buffalo takes an L to Atlanta. Not a bad place, week 7 to have their bye, but also not a good place. They come back against Carolina. They beat Carolina. Then the game everybody's going to want to watch at 4 p.m. on week 9, Kansas City comes to Buffalo. Kansas City and Buffalo have a history. Back and forth, right? The playoff rules changed because of this rivalry. It's in Buffalo. First week of November. If this was an Arrowhead, I'd give it to the Chiefs. But since it's not, I'm gonna give it to Buffalo. Let me go. Chiefs here. Just so I remember that. Week 10, already told you. Miami's not going to do well. So it's a W. Week 11, Tampa. But Tampa comes to the frozen part because I don't care. Buffalo's cold, man. In November, it's not as bad, but it's cold. Probably snowing a little bit. If it were in Tampa, maybe different story, but it's in Buffalo. I think they beat the Bucks. Right? Week 12, Houston. Question. Let me ask you guys. If Miami doesn't do well in division, if the Patriots do decently, and the Jets are on the rise, does it matter that much if Buffalo loses to Houston? My answer is yes, because Houston, fire starter, right? Last year, CJ Stroud had his struggles. They fired the offensive coordinator, who at the time was a hot commodity. Slowick was like, yeah, let's get some interviews. Made the mistake of canceling his opportunity to go talk to Washington, like Ben Johnson did. Stupid mistake, because you were hired. Now you're out the NFL. But will the change in offense affect CJ Stroud and company, like most are predicting? Losing Laramie Tunsil will. Look, Houston has a lot of positive energy. I think they'll be great contenders for the AFC South. I can't say right now if I'm picking them in the AFC South. Find out when we do the division. But I think they're going to lose this game, even though it's at home. Week 12, I think, and I love Joe Mixon. And I love the fact that they added the other pounder to that backfield to help out Joe Mixon. I just don't know what the offense is going to look like under a new coordinator. So I got to give the Buffalo. Pittsburgh, week 13. Only because I think this is one of the 4 losses I gave Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, week 14. Right, week 4. No, week 13. No. I had Pittsburgh winning. So Buffalo takes L. They play in Cincinnati after that. Every W until Cincinnati gets that defense fixed, man. I already told you what I had Cincinnati. I had Cincinnati going 7-10. They weren't winning these big profile games. Play the Patriots. I believe I said they're going to split with the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So this is an L, right? Week 15. Surprisingly. But it's a Gillette Stadium. Then they go to Cleveland. W. Then they host Philly. Some people say that might be a Super Bowl matchup. I don't think either team's going to make it to the Super Bowl. I just don't. But one hell of a game. In Buffalo at the end of December. Run game will be on tilt if this game don't get rescheduled because of snow or whatever the case may be. Advantage Philly. That's an L. They got the Jets. Last game of the season. Just double checking. They get the W. All right. With that being the case, remember I had the Patriots at 10-7. Buffalo wins the division with a record of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12-5. Like I said earlier, it'll be a 2 to 3 game difference between the division winner and the runner-up. So in this order is how I think it's going to fall. Buffalo, New England, Jets, Miami. That's what I have for the AFC East, guys. That's what I have for the AFC East, guys. You guys. Now, am I right? Am I guessing? I'm not guessing. I'm prognosticating, giving my analysis based upon current information as of 7/12/2025. July 12th, 2025. This is what I think. Now, can this change? Of course. Injuries play a big part. I'm not going to take a mulligan, but I am going to say I reserve the right to change my predictions during the season. I do. With that being said, I appreciate you all for tuning in. I want to thank my boy James Hemsley for, hitting the like button. Let me read some of this stuff real quick that Chris wrote. He says, "Be nice to my Patriots. I'm watching the Cubbies and possibly taking a nap too. Have a great show." Hey, Chris, I don't know if you wanted me to read that out on the internet, but I did. By the way, Pete Kroll, I want to thank my guy, Jason Vogel, for, putting me on to Pete. I really think he has a legit shot at winning NL MVP. Look, I love Otani. I love Otani. I do. And if he gets it, it's a popularity thing. But Pete, he's doing great things. He's really part of the reason why the Cubs are where they are. And he's not injured. Otani is pitching again. And he's also batting. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The name of the of the player that I'm referring to that plays for the Cubs, that I believe will be the National League MVP, and you can disagree, Pete Crow Armstrong. I think he's got a great shot. We'll see. With that being said, if you're out there watching me on X, Facebook, Twitter, that's what it used to be. What else? YouTube. Did I say Twitch already? LinkedIn, wherever you're watching this. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I look forward tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, discussing the NFC East. I was supposed to do the South for both divisions, but I messed that up. So, not going to do it. Not until next week. So that's what we're going to do next week. AFC South. Tomorrow, NFC East. I love you. I appreciate you. Honestly, I really do, guys. I really do. Y'all have been therapeutic, and I appreciate everything you provide me. So with that said, I gotta get ready to get out of here, man. I got to get ready to get out of here. Why? Because I got stuff I got to do.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Get ready to rumble! You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
The other dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?